Hello, my name is Becca O'Hara. I'm from Christ the King Parish in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, and I want to share with you a little bit today about how God has been filling me with hope and reminding me of His faithfulness through one of my favorite scriptures. So I'm very blessed to have gotten married last summer, and when my husband and I were choosing our readings for our Mass, I have to admit that we didn't put a lot of thought into the psalm. We had some recommended options that the parish had given us, and so we just kind of picked one. And I didn't really think about the psalm a lot in the days leading up to the wedding, even though I was thinking about the other readings. For some reason, the psalm just didn't strike me until the day of our wedding, when we were just blown away by how beautiful and how much the psalm really struck us. So I want to take a second and share with you a little clip of that. So that's pretty beautiful, right? We were totally blown away just by how the cantor in our wedding really brought out the meaning of the psalm and just made us realize that the earth is full of the goodness of the Lord and that God has done so much for us, and our hearts were just filled with gratitude for everything that God has done and for His faithfulness throughout our lives leading up to our wedding day. And so in the days and months that followed, that song was stuck in my head, that the earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. I found myself humming the tune on our honeymoon and as we moved into our first apartment together. And I just felt that that was such a theme, that we were so grateful for God's goodness and for everything that He had given us. And so in the months after the wedding, we actually received from another friend recordings of all the music that had been played during our wedding Mass. Except the psalm. For some reason, the recording didn't pick up the psalm very well. So we didn't have a recording of that, but we had recordings of everything else. And so all I had was just kind of the memory of what that psalm had sounded like. And then just a couple weeks ago, actually during this pandemic, our friend, who was the cantor at our wedding, sent us an email, and she had re-recorded that psalm with a friend who had some recording equipment. And so she sent it to us just as a gift, just because she knew how much we loved it. And that was a really profound reminder to me that God's goodness and God's faithfulness and the gratitude that we felt toward God on our wedding day and in those days and months and weeks after continues even now, even during this pandemic. And it just reminded me of this childlike confidence and this awe and wonder at what God has done in my life. And so that song has continued to be, and that scripture verse that the earth is full of the goodness of the Lord has continued to be such a consolation to me, that as we're in difficult times, facing challenges that we never thought we would face and doing so kind of in isolation, that God is still faithful and that He will not abandon us, and that this is a chance to look back and remember the good that God has done in our lives, and to be grateful for it and to see His goodness even now. That's just been such a powerful reminder to me. So today I would just encourage you to take a few moments and reflect on the ways that God has been good to you. Reflect on the goodness of the Lord and pour your heart out in gratitude for all of God's goodness, even now, even during these difficult times. God bless you.